Central Otago vineyard Two Paddocks is best known for its focus on premium Pinot Noir production. In addition to the vineyard, it's also home to a number of crops, such as lavender, which is harvested for oil and sold through their cellar door. Vineyard manager Mike Wing explains how this particular sideline came about.
The property that we have here is the Redbank Research Station. It was a government research station in the 80s. It was set up to trial crops that could be of significant commercial use or profitability. One of the ones that we have left behind that we still actively grow is the lavender. And there's other things like saffron, echinacea, licorice, all sorts of things, rosehip. But yeah, our main focus now is the vineyards, which we have 5 of over Central Otago in 4 different sub-regions. This plot's the original planting from crop and food research days. I've got 42 different varieties across here, all cultivars, lavandins and lavanders. Lavanders are a species by themselves, where the lavandins are a cross between lavandula and lavanders. Lavandins are the ones that are growing for the oil production nowadays, on the most part, because they are the big oil producers. The 2nd December we had a pretty bad frost. It was -2. Yeah, a bit out of the blue, but yeah, we don't frostfight the lavender. All our water resources are used for the vineyards. Here we have an original flower head from the spring. It's ready to go. So we've got a third that have finished flowering, so you've got the drier heads there. You've got a third that are flowering, so that the flower is open itself, and then we've got a third that are still to open up. So that's when we've got maximum oil in the head, is when there's a third. That's when we aim for. So we don't start harvesting until it's about 25 degrees during the day, and a nice sunny day, so the oil is up in the head and ready to go. So we want to try and capture as much of that essential oil as possible. So in the same bush, because of the spring frost, we've got head that hasn't even started maturing yet, so it's probably 2 to 3 weeks away from opening up. So we've got a bit of a mixed bag this year. We'll probably just take what is the bulk of the head on that bush and pick it at that's optimum. So we're over in the veggie garden block. We've got a new planting of the lavender, so the 42 varieties that we've got down in the old research part, we took cuttings and cultivated the plant material from there. The smaller varieties and some of the lesser known ones that aren't really that great for oil production have been quite fickle and hard to really get to set in. But they're there and they're grown, and we like the variety and not just growing one particular cultivar. It's what we do. Everything is organic here, so we use mulches, like gravel mulches rather than vegetative mulches. The plants don't tend to like wet feet or dampness from mulch, so we use stones and things like that to create heat and keep things dry. The soils here are pretty good, but they like to struggle. Yeah, if you get too healthy a plant, then you just get too much vegetation and you get too big a plant. We've got a Japanese tea cutter, which is pretty much just a 2-stroke hedge cutter, and it's got a blower system on it as well, which runs off the motor, so it blows as you cut the head with the hedge cutter. It blows the head back into a collection bag. We can sort of collect about 20 kilos of head per bag. Some of our lesser oil varieties, we're getting 1% extraction, so you're only getting 1 litre of oil for every 100 kilo of head. But the bigger ones, the Grosso and the intermediates, they're up around 3 to 4%. We're only looking sort of a couple of 100 grams per plant for a smaller bush, and then the bigger, older bushes, we can get up to 1 kilo of head. The bumblebees seem to be prolific at this time, yeah. A couple of years back we sort of had a lot of bees, and it was always bees that we were finding in the bags, but at the moment there's a huge population of bumblebees. I don't know if it's the wild bee population in decline and for one reason or another, and bumblebees are finding their niche and taking control. But yeah, there's a hell of a lot of bumblebees around at the moment. The bumblebees get blown into the bag by the blowers in front of the blades. They don't tend to get caught up, and then once we go to empty the sack out, they all get a chance to escape, and we'll leave the wool thatch open before we take it to the still room, so they get a chance to get out and escape. They're pretty docile when they're in amongst the lavender. They very rarely get a sting or a bite. So we're in the laboratory here. It's remnants from the old research days as well. So we've got the still electric boiler over there creating the steam. So the steam comes up through the ducted pipe there into the bottom of the retort. The hoppers here, they get filled with the head, with the flower head, It goes into the retort, gets tightened down. Then we turn the boiler on, it sends steam through the bottom, extracts the oil out of the head as it comes up through, then goes up into a condensing unit. From a 30 kilo batch, which is about what we can pack into these hoppers, we can sort of get upwards of about a litre, 1.2 litres. Yeah. That's off the Grosso, off the high producers. People use it on their pillows, people use it for insect bites, for skin care, soaps, all the rest of it. So it's got many different uses, and actually the proprietor's wife is a makeup artist in the movies industry, and she uses it on a lot of people's skins on set, for movies and things like that. And they rave about its curative qualities. We only sort of sell through our cellar door at the wine side of it, and we also sell 5 more bottles to resorts and spas as sort of pillow package deals and things like that. But we don't make a hell of a lot. We're sort of 10 to 12 litres a year of lavender oil, and that gets bottled up into 5 more bottles. The vineyard side of it obviously is our main focus, and we run a large crew in the vineyard, and it seems to fall, lavender harvest seems to fall sort of between jobs, so we've just sort of finished our lateral thinning and our fruit thinning in the vineyard at the moment, and lavender harvest is just kicking in, and we've probably got another week or 2 before we start nets. So we'll get the bird protection on the whole vineyard, so it fits in really well.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.